I have called.
Yo, I saw this video. New and upcoming RTS games in 2026.
Over 30 game developers and given each 60 seconds to answer one very difficult question. What makes an RTS game fun and how will your game achieve that? They will answer this while presenting their new or upcoming RTS games to you, while at the end of the video I will give you my own answer and bring in a surprise guest. As one of my favorite quotes by Mark Twain says, I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead. So let's hear from all these developers who had to make a great effort to condense their answer into just 1 minute.
Okay. Oh my god.
I think one of the biggest aspects of making an RTS game fun is how the progression feels. Going from a small outpost to a massive sprawling base, and starting off with very basic units, to having the most powerful parts of your arsenal, and upgrading your forces. In Dwarf, we plan on vastly expanding your base building mechanics and making it a larger part of the game. Not just creating your normal varying factory types, but also arranging them to get the best layout for the most efficient logistics. You'll be using your infantry to establish a front line by digging defensive trenches, while your proper base is defended by more permanent walls and static defensive structures. Even the environment will change. As it becomes scarred by battle, forests and vegetation are burned down, cities are flattened from the heavy fighting, and salvageable vehicle wrecks litter the landscape.
This just looks like Command and Conquer, no?
We even plan on doing this with water, where dams and other natural retaining barriers can be destroyed, flooding the landscape, or players being forced to create pontoon bridges or backfilling rivers to cross watery terrain.
Ultimately, RTS games are super fun because they reward long-term thinking and planning for those of us who like to overthink their games, and because giant laser robots blow stuff up. As you learn an RTS game, you develop strategies that you refine over many matches, learning how and when you can pull them off. And when it does all go to plan, it feels great. You are the architect. You are the puppet master. Sanctuary Shattered Sun offers the players multiple paths to victory. There is no one way to win.
Bro, this is just Protoss. What the fuck? Look at that, that's a Colossus.
You can spend units, go air, upgrade land tech,
that's crazy.
Eco, PD creep, upgrade your commander, or create earthquakes, sending your enemy hurtling down to the sun. Sanctuary focuses on strategy, not micro, and I can't wait to cross swords with you soon.
This is like a bar.
So we at Synapse Arts believe that there are 5 pillars that make for a great RTS game, and just missing out on one of them can destroy the entire experience, which is why we regard all 5 as a top priority. Number 1.
The colors are very bright in this game.
One would be gameplay and game design. You need fun and well-paced gameplay, cool game mechanics, well-designed and interesting factions, and rich tech trees. Number 2 is controls. You need butter, smooth controls, great pathfinding, great unit avoidance, snappy response times, and also customizable hotkeys. Number 3 is world building. You need a good story, awesome lore, and a game world that makes you want to spend time in it. Number 4 is visuals. There's no need for high-end graphics. Even something like pixel art can be phenomenal and stunning. But whatever style you choose, make it beautiful.
This looks like Stormgate.
And coherent to the story that you want to tell. And allow people to immerse into the world and to dream. And number 5 is balance. Every unit should have its place, and many different strategies and build orders should feel viable, allowing players to explore countless different...
You know what's funny? You can clearly see the difference between like games that are made for multiplayer and games that are made for single player type of experience. You know, like, these are the developers that are talking about these games, and this one is like, it's like a balance, and every unit should have its spot, and you can see it's mostly one-in-one oriented. And the other one is like talking about base building and fucking pretty bases and no micro kind of thing, and you can see it's like more casual.
Play in their favorite way without feeling at an inherent disadvantage, because frustration is the #1 enemy of fun.
It's me, Mark from Zero Space. So what makes an RTS game fun? I'll split into two things. What makes RTS a uniquely fun genre? What's the essence of RTS? I think RTS is about being able to build and choose which units and buildings you want to command in large tactical battles. No other genre really uses those two elements the same way. Having lots of viable choices in what you want to do is a big part of this. And then being able to have another gameplay layer where you can use and test those choices in real-time tactical scenarios. Zero Space has the largest combination of choices with over 200 units and buildings and tons of upgrades. Then, it's about every little detail working in unison. This is what generally makes good game development hard to do. These are things like good game feel, not being frustrated when you're controlling your units, and also marrying the gameplay with the
Zero Space has very good unit control, but I feel like it has too many units. You know, almost 200 units.
And story fantasies. Zero Space is doing a lot here by having one of the best unit and pathing controls. As we get closer to release, we've started going over every sound, VFX, animation to make them feel really good.
Hi folks, Beastyqt here from the bar team. If I had to name one thing that makes RTS fun, I would first zoom out to what makes games, or even play in general, compelling. For me, it's this beautiful dance between concepts of chaos and order, the dissonance and harmony. RTS games capture this especially well. They place the chaos of warfare right in your hands, but at the same time, they give you the tools to control it, shape it, and make it your own. That idea sits at the heart of Bar. On one side, there is the insane scale at every level. Forget population caps or limited resources, escalated into the extreme. There is no coincidence we call it beyond all reason. It's loud, dense, and intentionally overwhelming. But chaos on its own isn't enjoyable. What makes it work in Bar is pairing that scale with the powerful sense of control. Through tools like formation drawing, area commands, the interface simply fades away and lets you put your own order into this chaos. And that's when the fun begins.
What makes an RTS game fun? For us, it's that timeless loop the genre owns better than anyone else. You start small, you build, you expand,
Command
you
and
progress.
conquer.
Your base
I feel like so many RTS games are just like following the
becomes an
same
extension
recipe.
of your decisions. Your army becomes your voice on the battlefield.
You know, it's
and
like
every
we're just seeing same RTS remodeled.
every animation, every bit of feedback tells you you are in command. That's the RTS experience at its purest. But the real excitement comes when the game surprises you. New units, new mechanics, twist that pushes you to rethink your approach without breaking the genre flow. That's where freshness lives. We are careful not to spoil anything, but in DEFCON 0 we are taking everything that already makes RTS fun and elevating it, not by reinventing the genre, but by sharpening its strength and layering in systems that makes each match feel alive, reactive and strategic in a way that stands apart in today's market. It's the classic RTS feeling, you know, just deeper, more expressive and...
I mean, he even says it's like the same. It's nothing reinvented. It's just like
to give players those one more match moments. That's what we're aiming for, a game that feels familiar.
I've said this already before, but RTS, it's never gonna go mainstream. It needs to be redesigned.
RTS genre is vast, and players look for different things in each title.
This is Warcraft 3.
But what truly makes it exciting is the dynamic.
Do you see what I mean? It's like, look, this even says low. Okay, you can't see. This even says low. Which I assume it's for what's that thing called in Warcraft 3? Upkeep. The real wait, what? The real gent? A gent? The real Agent M. Okay. Okay, I got it. The real Agent M. It's all small letters. I don't know where it's. Yeah. Thank you so much, brother, for 5 gifted. Thank you. Yo, what do you mean, idiot? Okay, that's a perma. Have a good one. Actually, no, I'll just give you a timeout. 10 minutes. Have a good one. A dent. Yeah, I thought it's a dent. Yeah. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. Like, do you guys see what I mean? It's like... It's either Command and Conquer or it's Warcraft 3. Halo Wars? I never played it.
Adapting through smart planning and quick actions to overcome ever-changing situations. Combine that with thrill of commanding diverse armies and factions, and you get endless replayability. Liquidation steps into a space left open.
I mean,
by
you can.
classics like
There's
Warcraft
literally
and
heroes.
Armies of Exego. Instead of chasing massive scale or lightning fast micro, gameplay dynamic without overwhelming play. Liquidation refines the classic RTS formula while adding its own spin. The result is a smoother,
Again,
more accessible
classic
experience
RTS
that
formula. You
still
see what I
delivers
mean?
depth, variety, and the thrill of strategy. Exactly what makes RTS games unforgettable.
A huge part of what
Camera's
makes
not in
an
line.
RTS
Yeah,
campaign
it's
enjoyable
tilted. I don't know
is
why.
its narrative. And with the Chronicles series of DLCs for Age of Empires 2, we're pushing the boundaries of storytelling in the RTS genre with great
I'm
writing
tilted.
and dialogue, exceptional voice acting, and strong, distinct characters. And we're also delivering narrative through gameplay, getting the player to experience the story directly through sophisticated level designs which get the player's emotions and mindset.
Create RTS with Age of Noob. You do know creating RTS costs millions of dollars, right? Like actually millions of dollars. So, yeah.
To match those of the character as whom they play. Now, I truly believe that the RTS genre is a wonderful and underestimated medium for great storytelling. And with Chronicles, I believe we've created...
Wait, this is not Age of Empires 2? Oh no, it is. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say this looks exactly like AoE 2. What the fuck?
Which stands up as an excellent piece of historical fiction, as well as a showcase for how modern, narrative-driven games don't just have to be RPGs, you can get just as much narrative depth in the strategy genre.
So I don't think there's any one thing that makes a real-time strategy game fun, and that's why there are so many different games. Some
like, bro, okay, every
are...
RTS, okay, not every, 95% of RTS games are their Billions type game, like this, Warcraft 3 / StarCraft 2, and what's the other one? Command and Conquer. Sometimes you have like squad type games.
More strategic.
Okay, next.
Pain as a kid. In Ashes of the Singularity, super easy to set up logistics of constantly building and having to re-rally new troops. It's an entirely different way to play a large-scale RTS, and it's such a joy to play.
For me, RTS games are fun because they let players step into.
Ooh, I actually really dislike space RTS games.
In Sins of
Like that's just a skip for me.
You start with a single planet and a handful of ships, slowly expanding out.
Yeah, I can't.
So I've never really quite played RTS games the way they were intended to or competitively. Instead, I've always enjoyed finding those little exploits, playing custom scenarios, or using the map editor to turn them into almost a base building experience, where you're letting massive hordes of enemies crash into your defenses. That has always felt super satisfying to me, and it's likely the reason why our game, Dawn of Defense, is built around that feeling, focusing on real-time wave defense, where you're constantly expanding, adapting, and optimizing under pressure.
Unironically, I like this the most, but this is not an RTS.
Sure. I love discovering unique
I don't know why
upgrade
this is
paths for
in here.
troops and buildings, experimenting with different combinations, and watching powerful synergies emerge over time. That steady, impactful sense of power progression where every upgrade noticeably changes how your strategy plays, that has always been the most...
Yeah, this is tower defense. Nothing wrong with it, but this is not an
exactly where our
RTS.
upcoming RTS and tower defense hybrid, Dawn of Defense, Steam them around the corner, sign
Right,
up
not
for the
an
playtest
RTS,
now, puts a strong focus on those elements while combining real-time wave defense...
See, I like the idea. Look, like this. See, this is a unique idea. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. This is the 5% that I was talking about. It's a tower defense, but you have to capture these little islands to build more. Okay, you know what I mean? It's something new. All right.
Puts a strong focus on those elements while combining real-time wave defense, meaningful progression, and the classic tower defense gameplay.
When is it coming out?
I love the mix of short and long-term.
What is it called? Leo, Dawn of Defense.
Tower defense gameplay.
I'm gonna
I love
search
the
it.
mix of short and long-term decision making in RTS and how these decisions
Dawn
are made on the
of
fly with patch
Defense.
information. The fun is in taking on the role of a commander, pitting your wits against an opponent or fighting your way through a scenario. The real-time, somewhat fuzzy, semi-realistic nature of these games is vital as it helps sell that fantasy. The goal is to be a strategist. not just a solver of sterile puzzles.
2026.
Players
Okay,
should
that is
reflect
not
on their
anytime
creativity
soon.
and come out of it feeling like geniuses. 0K achieves this by giving players tons of tools and unmatched freedom with which to assemble their strategy.
They're
While avoiding
billions,
the
look.
kinds of solo
Boom, they're billions again. Next.
single-player campaign, which is a
It's
must-have.
there's
And
their
the result
billions.
is a game that becomes more interesting as you explore it, rather than feeling solved.
Now the fun factor of discovering comes from 3 ingredients: simple game rules, perfect controls, satisfying combats.
Bro, you can't say perfect controls as units are derping in a
I only
circle.
play games with high attention to details. So our game is very easy to hop into. In fact, we have AI assistants that help players in both single player and multiplayer. We also have what we call a heroes mode, where you only control your hero. The rest of the game works by itself. Many players
That's kind of cool.
actually prefer it more than the classic RTS mode. We also have a lot of cool things on the way, like epic naval ship battles and of course single player campaign. So try out our game if you haven't already. We have a free demo available on Steam, and thank you guys.
This looks like Warcraft 2.
I think there's a lot of good answers to this.
Oh, what game? What game inspired this, guys?
And I'm actually really curious to hear
I wonder which game were they inspired by.
what the other devs say. But for me personally, it's all about like strategizing or plotting. Basically looking at the map and figuring out how can I...
They even have dogs!
So maybe there's like one big enemy base that's got tanks, there's another one with harassing aircraft, but then there's like this big open resource node you could expand to. And so just looking at this...
Okay, next.
Hi there, I'm John Duffel from Studio 568. We're making an RTS fun. I think for me it's allowing space for the player to set themselves control, or it might be choosing Alex. We do this by sort of giving you levels.
Oh, this
that
one
allow
is
more than
rough,
one route.
bro. This one is rough. You know what we need? You know what we need?
I think what makes...
We need, okay? We need... What's that game called? You guys played that game, fuck, what was it called? Ants Colony or something like that? Do you guys remember that game? This game is like 25 years old. You are building an ants colony and you can attack other colonies. Except make it like modernized and it looks good. That's what we need. Like, that's cool. You know what I saw? I saw Mareka played this survival game with her friends. It's like a third-person survival, and you're basically like a tiny human, and there's like bugs and rats, and like everything is massive. Like you know, Scorpion attacks you. It's like a co-op game, survival co-op game. And I was like, man, that's so cool. Why isn't there like an RTS game like that? Yeah, Grounded. Yeah. Like, why don't we have RTS games like that? Where you can, like, why do we gotta have these like superheroes fucking Warcraft 3 chain line? Like, why can't we have ants and hornets and fucking whatever? You know what I mean? Like, why can't one faction be like a red ants, the other faction is fucking whatever, other ants, or and then you have other factions or like other bugs. It's like we gotta have these heroes and we gotta have these cool upgrades, and do you know what I mean? I would play that.
An RTS fun is meaningful decisions planning and pressure. Everything you do matters, and you constantly have to adapt. Your choices affect how you play and how your enemy is forced to respond. Global conflagration delivers that in several ways.
This is like Company of Heroes, but faster.
And asymmetric factions. But we also focus heavily on creating a dynamic map experience. You're always fighting for territory.
Not gonna lie, out of all these games, I mean, Zero Space and this one
instead of just
look the best.
Down, it actually pays off. And global conflagration.
Factorio. This is a game that can be fast, that gives.
Wait, what is it?
Power Play is an RTS that gives a military dimension to Factorio. This is a game that can be fun for players that enjoy building systems of production, managing resource chains and logistics, but are also hungry for military action. We think these are a very fun elements to combine. Once you build your automated factory, you can focus your attention elsewhere on exploring the map or optimizing or managing the army. We are working on a campaign, and we also have replayable game modes like skirmish and survival. And we also have a fully scriptable game editor, and we want to make it easy to mod the game. The playtest is coming soon, but we don't have a official date yet. So stay tuned. And
this has potential in the idea, but the execution doesn't look amazing.
Our game is powered by nostalgia. We are building a game we always wanted to play.
Wait, which? Wait, what? This guy's from somewhere from Balkan. You can hear it as well.
Legendary titles we grew up with, supported by mechanics deep enough to sink your teeth into, and a campaign with twists that makes it a story worth exploring. You got rebels turning their mining tools into weapons, Orbis looking to instill order.
I mean, Command and Conquer.
Through fear.
Actually, this looks like what's that game called? What's that game called, man? Rising. Tempest Rising. Holy fuck, I couldn't remember.
And a Sentex looking to force that next moral barrier. Since each one
it looks good, but it's like
makes it fun. You download
I seen it.
Load it up, and you instantly know what you're supposed to do. We hope players will recognize this vision and follow our journey as we work toward delivering a fully polished RTS game.
Like, guys, we have watched like 20 games. How many of them were Command and Conquer? Like 7?
Built to last.
A great RTS is all about 3 things: understanding.
Oh my god, what
and,
is
for us most of all choice?
What is happening here?
To understand the battlefield and the objectives. And also, you got to feel the pressure of every decision, and then the payoff. You know, when your choices, your strategy, things that you've implemented when they work. With Fleet Breakers, we've taken.
Bro, I just realized this is in space. Holy fuck! I just realized this is in space. That was very. What is this? Wait, these are supposed to be planets.
And the objectives. And also, you got to feel the pressure of. Has movement, time.
Next.
Fleet Breakers stand out.
To make an RTS fun, I think it needs to have a good balance, immersing yourself in an
Fungal Front
and exciting. Once you've had enough of the campaign, it's time to test your skills against other players. This is the part I find most exciting because if the game is built well, you'll want to push yourself to your skill ceiling and constantly challenge yourself to improve. The multiplayer aspect is different from other genres because it's very difficult for other players to cheat. On top of that, you're constantly needing to
Wait, what? Do you hear what he just said?
From other genres because and constantly challenge yourself to improve.
Listen.
The multiplayer aspect is different from other genres because it's very difficult for other players to cheat. On top of that, you're constantly needing to adapt your strategy while also paying close attention to your income, your base expansion, and your growing army. In Fungal Front, I've built the whole game with the multiplayer experience in mind to ensure that you get a smooth, jitter-free experience while playing.
Maybe this is something for you. Counterclash is all about feeling smart and looking good doing it.
while offering much gameplay depth and not taking yourself too serious. It's a tactically deep game with intuitive mechanics that are easy to pick up. The many counter systems are woven into streamlined economy and troop management to allow you to immediately start strategizing without looking into spreadsheets or stats. Everything in the game is hand-drawn, so you can enjoy fun animations and cool environments, with troops walking in neat formations and getting thrown around by explosions. Last but not least, Counterclash offers a large amount of variation in its 3 factions and over 30 unique units, impactful upgrades, powerful heroes, and even boons to customize how you'd like to play those factions. Different map layouts and environmental hazards make sure you'll never get bored adapting into new strategies.
At least it's different.
To me, what makes an RTS game fun is the freedom it gives you to achieve your goals, where every decision you make changes the course of the conflict and also lets you out.
How is this an RTS? What are we doing?
Smart your enemies. In the last general, I'm giving you complete freedom to manage your economy, build your production facilities and defenses.
Okay, that looks like an RTS.
Change your strategies and doctrines on the fly. This opens up a ton of possibilities with trade-offs between unit quality versus production time and cost, and lets you play the game in your favorite style. You could choose to have a smaller army that is more advanced, or you can have thousands of soldiers with almost no training, or go for air superiority, or just prioritize your economy and production and build hundreds of factories to grow your...
Bro, we need... Okay, we need... You know what we need? We need Battlefield to do a collab with an RTS game. That's what we need. Imagine this, but it's multiplayer and you can have 100 people on each side in the lobby. Now that's a game right there. That's a game right there.
That freedom to use all your tools however you want makes every match in the last general unique, and it lets you respond to the crazy
Like, imagine I tell people to go somewhere and they get like a quest pop up. Like, do this, you know? Sir, we received a new mission. Take over this point.
Will also be throwing at you with those tools.
For us, 2 aspects of the RTS genre are particularly exciting. First,
and one guy
owning
builds
an army
base and
made of
soldiers.
different units. This adds tactical depth and also a lot of replayability. Of course, it gets really interesting when there are
this is Company of Heroes.
challenges in terms of gameplay, with their strengths and weaknesses varying.
Okay, next.
See the massive tanks and behemoths, but also feel it.
Have you tried natural selection? Yeah, but it's for too few players. I'm talking like massively multiplayer game.
Commander, to plan, to produce, to build up your army and base, to pick and choose the best strategy to overcome the enemy, or to react to what's happening in real time. About the menu.
What is this, Warcraft 3?
Building times, or
okay, we don't have gameplay in this
not
one.
only in this fantasy of commanding and building up, but also in the world the game is set in.
Alright, we don't have...
I think there's lots of things that can make an RTS game fun. To me, the immersion has always played a big role. When I play Kane's Wrath, for example, I feel like I'm being part of a RTS. There's the use of units to train.
90% of these won't make it, of course they won't.
Added was a world map, and you could click on the worlds to paint them in your color, and this was insanely addictive. Like, every time I tried it, I had to fill the full map by clicking all the nations. Maybe it is some deep territorial instinct that you have as a human. Claiming area is just very addicting and fun. And even now, almost 12 years later, that is one of the most rewarding aspects of the game, is painting the map in your color.
What makes RTS games fun to me is the rush of commanding an army that reacts in real time. You click, the battlefield moves. In Modern...
What country do you think this guy's from? You can hear it in the accent.
Well, we push that further. Your army is a living organism. You grow organs, split and merge them, and reshape your creature mid-fight.
Organs, yeah.
I also love the endless strategies. Different units, abilities, maps, and biomes turns RTS into a giant...
Oh my, you guys don't hear? He's German.
This machine. In Mod Warrior can combine organs to unlock new powers, like a mouse plus an acid gland that spits acid, and you face strange NPCs and bosses that force you to change tactics every time. For me, the goal is easy to pick up, hard to master.
He's Israeli?
We're still polishing the easy part, but the hard to master, I think we nailed it. And that's what I love about Modern War.
The core fun of an RTS comes from the non-stop stream of decisions. Your most important resource is
Ooh, okay. Do you know this game? This type of game used to be my dad's favorite game. My dad used to play this game called Sudden Strike, and he played all of them. He loved that shit.
Lies. There are your time and attention, and every choice matters. First, a constant pressure. The game changes every second and players must constantly react and adapt to the new conditions. Second, the unknown. The map is partly hidden, so you're always making decisions with incomplete information. You guess, predict your opponent, and hope your plan will work.
Bro, this is literally like Sudden Strike. I guarantee you this guy got it from Sudden Strike. This is the same in Sudden Strike, I remember.
Predict your opponent and hope your plan will work.
I guarantee you.
That combination, the ticking clock and the fog of war, is what keeps players locked in. It makes the game feel alive and keep you fully engaged in the moment.
Yeah, it's called Panzer Strike.
In Panzer Strike, we are building patience and used.
For me, variety in gameplay is what makes an RTS game fun. When I boot up a new game, I love feeling like I'm dictating the strategy to win. My decisions have a real impact, and I get to play how I want to play. I get
like a camping noob with towers and walls.
People's strategies, I get to test my own strategies, and I can find out not just how to have fun, but have the best time.
Oh my god, why does he have wood as the first resource? Oh my god, it's ruined. The food should be first, wood second, gold third, stone fourth. What is this?
Doing so. I hate having RTS games tell me how to play, like one crazy long tutorial. Sometimes I'll lose, sometimes I'll win, but that's part of the game. And for me, being able to test all these different ways to play an RTS game and find my own unique way to play is what makes RTS games so different from other games, and frankly, so
that's a casual. This guy's a casual.
It's a persistent RTS game over 90 days. Guidebooks don't quite work, so the meta on day 7 looks entirely different than on day 1, and even more so on day 30, 60, and 90. Every world you're in has its own lore because you've shared it with all these other distinct people for months. You've made allies, you've fought battles day after day with similar people.
So what actually makes an RTS game fun? For me, it's a mix of two things, simplicity and variety. I think the game should be easy to understand when you first jump in, nothing overly complicated, nothing that makes new players quit instantly. But at the same time, it can't be boring. But there has to be enough variety so every match feels a little different, and you have to always have new strategies to try. That's what keeps the game replayable, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
I mean, I agree with what he's saying, but these graphics are too hard for me.
Stupid annihilation is to make an.
What makes a real-time strategy game fun? I was introduced to the genre with World of Warcraft, Dune 2, the original Command & Conquer. I was introduced to the genre with World of Warcraft, Dune.
He was introduced to the genre in World of Warcraft? What? What?
To the original Command & Conquer series when I was younger. I later enjoyed games like Command & Conquer Generals, Battle for Middle-earth, and similar games. I like a moderately paced experience with fun visuals and a few layers of tactical depth to think about. Endeavor is designed to maximize the experience of discovery with variety while minimizing...
Maybe he's a guildmaster. Have you ever tried controlling 39 idiots in the guild? I have actually. I was a guildmaster in Classic.
Overall complex. Try it out and let me know if you think Endeavor is fun. Thank you.
We've always felt RTS games are at their best when they don't tell you how to play, but instead give players the freedom to choose their own playstyle. With Here Comes the Swarm...
Bro, what's with the... Okay, what's with this thing? Like, this is the third time in this video where a developer says, are you tired of people telling you how to play RTS games? Bro, who is this? Who are these? Is this person in the room with us right now? Like, who is this talking to you that you should play a game this way or that way? Like, what are we...
We wanted players to define their own strategy from the very start. Every run begins with your deity and the Arcanum. Your deity grants unique blessings and buildings, while the Arcanum is a customizable talent board where you decide which powers to bring into the fight. You can lean fully into offense, pushing out aggressively and expanding fast. Or you can turtle up, build strong defenses and survive wave after wave. After each run, you unlock
okay,
new
I mean, that
blessings
looks
and
cool.
talents,
It's
giving
like
you
there are
more
billions,
control
but
over your
okay.
approach. This lets you create your own builds, offensive, defensive, or something entirely unexpected. That's what keeps every run feeling fresh, even when you start from a similar idea. And when you succeed, it feels personal, like your strategy truly made it happen.
What makes an RTS fun? It's a bunch of little pleasures working together. Badass units and strategic choices, and your soldiers obeying.
Yeah, I played this game back in 1995, I think.
Text switch.
In my opinion, to truly enjoy RTS games,
Wage
proper
Vampires.
world building is essential. Since you are playing under pressure from other players, you need to understand the connections and consequences quickly. Economic, technological, and unit development system must also be meaningful and ability and the competitive.
Oh, it's Total War, yeah,
as
you're
it is a
right.
medieval fantasy
Oof.
where
Okay, next.
currency system and
RTS game fun, and how we're gonna do that with Space Tale. I think for this one, at least for me,
My eyes
because
hurt
that's
from
my
the
very
colors.
first experience of RTS, Craft 2, and Dungeon Keeper, and
I have to skip. Like I'm not even memeing. My eyes are hurting from the green.
and feel the satisfaction of total extermination of the enemy, not just surviving.
Questioned what makes a game fun. I think it should be easy to learn and it should offer interesting choices. Players should be able to play their own style. You want to play offensive, defensive, the game should all offer that. And how does Retro Commander achieve that? I think it's somewhat easy to learn. Left click to select, right click to target, but then yeah, it's a little bit more complicated. You need to collect assets to build your army and your base. It has interesting choices in regards to weapons. You have different types of weapons, like regular bullets, rockets, EMP, you can stun your enemies, you have nukes. You have different types of units to do recon or spy missions, stealth.
RTS games. Turtling at the start, slowly build how every player enjoys playing games.
Total War.
That player agency.
Okay, next.
What makes an RTS game fun?
Command and Conquer.
It's three things: building a
Bro,
base,
this one looks
and
exactly like
mapping
Command and
into a
Conquer.
war machine, making
Like, do you guys see what I mean?
Going to read his answer to you, but what is important is that he is great at making RTS games. For him, an RTS game must be challenging, unpredictable, and exciting. Challenging because the player needs to feel that everything they do has weight, every decision matters and impacts the game from the beginning through the middle game and all the way to the end. It's not just about fast clicking, it's about thinking, planning, and living with the consequence.
It's not just about fast clicking, bro.
Large scale. I would like you try.
Wait, what is this?
Determine the outcome, not brute force. In closing, I would like to share two more perspectives on this question with you, but also ask that you try to give your own answer in the comments of this video. Both of these final perspectives are quite personal, and one of them is from my own 7-year-old son.
Wait, what drama?
Teaching to play
Maka, thank you,
RTS
brother.
games for over a year now. Do note that so far he has played Age of Mythology Retold, Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, Warcraft 3, Battle for Middle-earth, The Scouting, and tried out a few others. So let's hear why RTS games are fun for him.
Oh my god, this guy's Serbian? This is Serbian.
Možeš beskonačno Titana, moraš da razmišljaš, borbe, bacanje magija, Možeš da šalješ kad god vojsku te napadnu I kad nisu spremni.
Now, as for my own answer to this very difficult question, and after listening to all these developers and hearing their visions of real-time
translation correct? I mean, did he say it's his son, or what did he say? I didn't look at the translation. I was just
fun
listening.
RTS experience boils down to just 3 aspects: storytelling, technical performance, and atmosphere. A campaign set in a believable world with lore that permeates all game aspects, along with memorable characters who go through a profound journey, completes the storytelling requirement. Proper pathfinding, units which precisely obey a wide range of available orders, a base building or upgrade setup in an intuitive economy system which is easy to learn but hard to master, completes the technical performance requirement. And lastly, to complete the atmosphere requirement and become a fun RTS to play, a game must look apart, with a unique art style and inspire awe with battles which look and sound great. Was that 60 seconds?
Okay, I'm gonna link the video if you guys want to watch or rewatch or whatever. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. RTS games these days they're just same games over and over. Like, I've said this before, I've said this 5 years ago, I've said this 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and so on and so forth. Like, I feel like so many of these have said that, like, I used to play this game, or my game was this, and you can see their game is modeled by that game, which there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, how do I put this? If there's a game and the game is 50 players and you make the same game but just a bit different graphics but same gameplay, it's not gonna get more players. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty much the same thing you're making. It's hard to blame them for trying to recreate their childhood games. I mean, I'll disagree with that, actually. I'll disagree with that. I think that tower defense game, that shit is indie as fuck. That looks pretty good. I don't know how good it is to play it, but it looked pretty good. And it looked pretty unique, and it looked pretty interesting. Right? At least to me. So, I don't know if that's true that you cannot. Like, can you have graphics like before? No, you can't, because they don't have the money for that. But the ideas are what I mind. The ideas are non-existent. It's really difficult to make an RTS that stands up to the classics. Their Billions was pretty unique. I think out of those like 40 games, maybe 3 are gonna do something. Maybe 3. Like, see, this is the problem. What you just said, how are they going to make a game that compares to the class, or that's not comparable to classics? Another problem is they're always trying to make games that RTS players will like. You need to make an RTS that new people will like. That's why their Billions had such a good success. And even though their Billions is not the type of game I usually play, I have a lot of hours in their Billions. Because I thought it was really cool, even though it was a single player game, which I don't play. But it felt very much difficult and challenging to play. Okay? They made MOBAs to replace RTS? That's not true. That's a thing people heard and they're running with it. Nobody made MOBAs to replace RTS. Nobody. Like, a guy called Ice Frog made a modded map in Warcraft 3 with no intention of making it into a game. He never wanted to make replace RTS. He just made a map in Warcraft 3. He asked Blizzard to support him to make its own game. They refused. He went to Valve and made Dota 2. After the Dota 2 release and after Dota's one success, League of Legends and other MOBAs are made. It has nothing to do with replacing RTS. That's like saying battle royales are made to replace first-person shooters. They're not. They're just made. Someone made them and people were like, whoa, that's a good idea. Let's make 500 of these. Yeah, I mean, whoever denied that guy, whoever denied Ice Frog for funding to make Dota like a game, he probably got fired. Kick W.